And I just want to talk about David de Gea very quickly because it's his 400th appearance for Manchester United, the first foreign player to do so for the club. And there has been maybe some criticisms over his performance this season and the season before that. Even Roy Keane as well called him the most overrated keeper. Is some of this criticism warranted at all, Rene?
Well, everybody can have his opinion. I think David de Gea is still a world class goalkeeper that he has illustrated for many seasons at Manchester United. I think you saw that today with a save with Ratman's effort. You know what a world class goalkeeper he still is. He has had a few moments where people I think can criticise or question him, and I think he would question himself as well. He obviously sets himself the highest standards, and that is what everybody expects, the highest standards. And if those are not met, then obviously people start to question, is he still as good as he was? There's obviously still always been that sort of lingering, rumours in the background. Is he going to stay in Manchester United, or is he maybe moving on?
The criticisms that he's had throughout the season and last, and I just wonder, his dip in form came about in 2018, at the start of the 2018-2019 season. And it was just at that same time that Spain was knocked out of the World Cup. I just wonder if it's also a confidence thing, because in that tournament, I think he only made one save, Rene.
Well, yes. I mean, still, until this day, players are still humans, and that's what it is. There's emotions there, and people have to, to do with certain things that go. Sometimes you don't know exactly what's playing in the background. And don't forget the seasons before that. I think David de Gea was picked as the player of the year in 2 or 3 consecutive years for United by the United fans. So
now a very experienced player now. He's a very experienced player now, and like I said, there have always been these rumours in the background about maybe moving to Madrid. Those things need to be cleaned up. I think he's coming into his 30s, so he goes into a sort of final sort of years playing at a top level. And if he can commit to Manchester United, it would be good for Manchester United. It would be good for him, of course, as well. And that stability is important for every club.
You've been there when David de Gea was first in Manchester United. How have you seen him develop as a keeper and his abilities and his qualities?
He struggled in the beginning a little bit just to come to terms with the Premier League. Obviously, we had, in my opinion, another world-class keeper that was leaving the club. In Edwin van der Sar, different type of goalkeeper. 6'7", 6'8", strong, tactically very good. Coaching the back line with a very experienced back line, and David just came in. He was different, like I said. Still a good height, but very athletic, very agile. A bit more of a reactive keeper because he had to come to terms with the fact that, he had to learn to speak English better, to help the players better in terms of coaching. And at that time, Eric Steele obviously was part of our coaching staff. He looked after him. He did an amazing job. And he got better, from strength to strength. And he has helped win United many trophies along the way. So I can only be very positive about it.
During that time when he first joined Manchester United, were there discussions amongst yourself with the backroom staff, with Sir Alex as well, that de Gea has the potential to be a long-term keeper, first-choice keeper as well, for the club? I mean, he's been around for 10 years now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, that was the reason why he was brought in by the club. He was obviously scouted by Eric Steele himself. He went to watch him many times in domestic leagues, away games, in Champions League games. And what we did feel was that he had that enormous reactive response to making these spectacular saves. We all knew that he had to grow, because the Premier League is a league like no one else, no other league in the world. It's so diverse. You cannot just turn up as, the league leaders and you go to, one of the bottom 3 teams and just think to pick up the 3 points. It's impossible. But because of the different style of football, because in Spain everybody keeps the ball on the floor, they just keep a ticky-tacky football most of the time. And in the Premier League, you have all different sort of styles. It's more dynamic, it's more erratic at times, high level of quality. So you need to be really, really on top. But we always knew with David, we were bringing in a player that is cut out for the first team and for many, many years.
Another Manchester United keeper that has been making headlines but is on loan to Sheffield United, of course, is Dean Henderson. I mean, he's been in the conversation in regards to De Gea as well. His potential return, again, this is not firm. He could be out again for another loan spell. But should he return, how would that affect things for De Gea, Gary?
Well, you know, I think there is a strong bond between goalkeepers. It's a unique position on the park to start with. And my experience of goalkeepers, whether they're in the team or whether their colleague is in the team, you know, they back for each other, they support each other, they help each other, they encourage each other, they work hard on the training park. So, you know, if you've got an excellent number 2 goalkeeper, I think that is advantageous for your number 1 goalkeeper. And if you've got an excellent number 3 goalkeeper, I think that's advantageous for both your number 2 and your number 1 goalkeeper as well. And of course, that second or third choice goalkeeper gets pulled up by the number 1 keeper as well. So I think the truth is, with Henderson, he's proved he's a Premier League goalkeeper with what he's done at Sheffield United. If he comes back to Manchester United, is he going to start? No, I don't believe so, because I think De Gea is still Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's number 1 goalkeeper. So therefore, I think Henderson will have another season out on loan somewhere, quite possibly Sheffield United. And why wouldn't you want to do that to some extent? And there will be a time when quite possibly Henderson becomes the number 1 as De Gea moves towards the end of his career. But I still think De Gea is going to be United's number 1 for a number of seasons. I really don't see any other outcome.
What do you think, Rene? Do you think Dean Henderson deserves a chance at Man United?
It's not about a chance, Michelle. Dean Henderson is still a young goalkeeper, 23. I agree with Gary. He's proven to be a Premier League goalkeeper. But to consistently play at your best at the club like Manchester United, it's just a different kettle of fish. It brings different pressures. With United, you have to win. It's not an option. Whether you like to win or you want to win, you have to win. With Sheffield United, they had an amazing season, and he's been very instrumental in that. But to keep growing, he needs to keep playing. And if he would come back to Manchester United, would that stop his progress? Don't forget, United has still got a very good experienced goalkeeper in Romero. So what is happening there? I don't think that, like Gary says, David de Gea, he would drop David de Gea and put Henderson in. I think in that case, in my opinion, he will get his chance at this moment in time. I think it would be best for him to have another season, you know, on loan, play as many games as he can, because experience is vital for goalkeepers. But at some point, you know, if United do think he is the right goalkeeper, then they have to bring him back and they need to start phasing him in.
What do you think is the right choice for Dean then? Another loan spell at Sheffield United, or perhaps at a traditionally bigger club, because he's been linked with Chelsea as well to replace Kepa?
Go on, Rene, you can answer that one.
Well, that would be very strange. I don't think that United would ever let that happen, to be fairly honest. If that's the case, then the best choice then would to bring him back and then really start to consider him as you know, De Gea's number 2, and find ways to get him to play for United. Because, like I said, you need to get used to the size of the club, and that is not to be underestimated. I can't see him going to any of other United's competitors. I could see him staying at Sheffield United, because I'm sure that Sheffield United would like to have him again for another season. But if they do bring him back to United, then probably something has to happen with Romero, because I can't see him dropping into like a third position goalkeeper situation.